You can obviously appreciate the challenge all of us have when we follow our friend Senator Torricelli to the podium. It is difficult to find anyone who has a greater enthusiasm, commitment, or an energy to see to it that the dream of a free and independent and democratic and non-nuclear Iran is realized in Senator Torricelli. But I must tell you, that enthusiasm and that energy is shared by several hundred people, Republicans and Democrats, diplomats, clerical leaders, politicians, former cabinet members, military leaders. So as long as you know that, I'm going to modify my tone. Because I think it is important to repeat what Bob said, but to talk about it in a little different way. When I think of a New Year's celebration, it's a time to reflect on the past. It's also a time to think about the future. And I think in this New Year and every New Year that you celebrate, particularly over the past couple decades, when you think about the courage, the selflessness, the sacrifice that the men and women and families of the MEK and their supporters have offered to their fellow citizens of a great country and of a great culture, they are to be remembered on this particular day. I can recall the first meeting with a couple of moms, with a couple of mothers. They were spouses and they were moms. And their husbands had perished. Their children, many of them had been tortured and perished. And yet you could tell in their eyes and in their heart and in their head, those lives were not to be given in vain. That they understood that there was a cause even beyond their families. But that experience has been replicated thousands and thousands of times within families within Iran. So you think about that on this day. And you say those of us in the States continue to do everything we can. There's a grand coalition. There's been nothing like it, I think, in contemporary political history in this country with this coalition of support. But the tip of the spear have been the men and women, the husbands, the wives, the children, who for decades have fought for freedom and liberty. And then you see how things have evolved. You know, freedom and liberty, we may say in our documents, it's about the pursuit of happiness. Life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. It's a goal we all seek, regardless of where you're born, regardless of your heritage or your culture. But it doesn't come easily. We fought for it. We're still trying to perfect what we do in the United States of America. But at least the beauty of a democracy is if you recognize your imperfections, you have the ability through the source of the people to look to improve them, to reduce them. But think of the progress that has been made. Oh, it has been incremental, but it has been significant, hasn't it? Think of the progress that has been made. I think of these incredible rallies in Paris, France. Think of the people that showed their support internationally 6 or 7 years ago, and then fast forward and you see delegations from around the world standing in unity in support of the MEK and Madame Rajavi and a free and independent Iran, a tolerant Iran that enjoys the liberties and freedoms that many of us in the democratic world take for granted. So today we look back and really think of the sacrifice and the courage of those who have really made a difference, are responsible for all this progress that we've enjoyed to this date. But it's also a day to look forward. We've gone from Ashraf to liberty. We now have made considerable progress in Albania. We still have to do a lot more there. We have to do a lot better there for the residents. But you can tell from the reports of the unrest in dozens of communities in Iran over the past several weeks. You can sense the enthusiasm of those in this room, but the leadership within the MEK in Paris, that the pressure is mounting, the support is growing, and that our future has to be committed to being persistent and relentless and understand that what we seek to achieve may not be accomplished this year, but when we gather next year to celebrate the new year, we'll have come that much further. Liberty and freedom is a battle worth fighting for. There have been a lot of warriors. There have been a lot of deceased. But those of us who remain in a position to make a difference in this country join with those who really lead the fight. Those Iranian citizens who deal with Rouhani, who deal with the mullahs, who deal with the repression. Those are the real heroes and heroines of this battle. And just as we had heroes and heroines in our march to freedom and independence in this country, we will all gather one of these days in Tehran to celebrate their sacrifice and to enjoy the freedoms and the liberties that they have fought so hard to achieve for their fellow citizens. So on this very special day and the days that follow where you continue to celebrate your new year, I do like that part of it. A 12-day celebration, is that about right? I like hanging with people that like to celebrate. There's much to celebrate, no question about it. But we're at a place now where we just have to build on the sacrifice of so many others. And I'm going to take the liberty of talking for this grand coalition. And you know the members that I'm talking about. Some of them are here. An extraordinary group of men and women. And in my years in politics, and I've been playing in this field for a long, long time, over 3 decades, I've never seen anything like it. And I think at the heart of this is a true commitment to something that we cherish and that you seek, and that's freedom and liberty. And frankly, I think we are, I will speak for this, we are honored to be part of your coalition to advance the cause of a great Persian culture and the citizens of Iran. Thank you very much.